Ever wondered why we shake hands? Or who came up with this strange little ritual in the first place? Out of all the possible greetings humans could have chosen, we somehow agreed that grasping another person's hand and giving it a few gentle pumps was the ideal way to say hello. It's such a normal part of everyday life that we almost never question it. You just stick your hand out, someone grabs it, and boom, you've officially acknowledged each other. But beneath that simple, ordinary gesture lurks a story shaped by fear, suspicion, and thousands of years of humanity trying not to get stabbed. Before we dive in, give this video a quick like. It helps more curious people discover stories just like this one. Now today, a handshake feels warm, polite, even professional. But long ago, this wasn't about friendliness at all. Imagine living in a world without cameras, police, or even the comforting promise that someone would hear you yell for help. Meeting a stranger wasn't a casual moment. It was a potential disaster. Every encounter carried tension. So people developed a silent, practical strategy. Extend the right hand, the hand used to hold weapons, to show it was empty. No dagger tucked behind the hip, no sword hidden under a cloak. Just an open palm saying, "See, I'm not a threat, probably." And just like that, the earliest version of the handshake was born. It wasn't cute, it wasn't polite, it wasn't something you'd do during a job interview. It was basic survival. To understand how it all evolved, we have to step into ancient Mesopotamia and Greece. Picture dusty roads, sun-baked stone buildings, and people greeting each other with a cautious tension you could almost feel in the air. Warriors and travelers would approach slowly, extending their open hand not as a sign of friendship, but as a way of preventing a sudden attack. This wasn't a greeting. It was a safety inspection. But then something surprising happened. Over time, this nervous gesture started appearing in Greek art, not between strangers, but between gods and mortals. Statues and carvings show handshakes as symbols of unity and respect, representing equality between two beings. Somehow, what began as a way to avoid getting murdered was slowly transforming into a symbol of trust. It's like humanity collectively decided, okay, maybe we can relax a little. And then came the Romans, who never missed an opportunity to add flair or suspicion to anything. They didn't just shake hands, they clasped forearms, a full, dramatic grip from wrist to elbow. They claimed it was a symbol of strength and mutual respect. But let's be honest, it was mostly because they knew sleeves made excellent hiding spots for small knives. Romans weren't taking any chances. If danger could move up the arm, well then, so would the greeting. Over centuries, the gesture continued to evolve. In medieval Europe, knights would shake hands, sometimes quite aggressively, to rattle loose any hidden weapons. The more armor involved, the more forceful the gesture became. Imagine trying to shake hands while wearing a full suit of metal. At that point, you're not greeting someone, you're testing if their elbow joints still work. But as societies changed, danger became less constant, and suspicion slowly eased. The handshake started showing up in new places: marketplaces, treaties, business agreements. Merchants used it to seal deals because contracts weren't always written down, and a handshake was a physical symbol of honor. If you shook hands on it, you were expected to keep your word. If not, well, your reputation took a hit. And in those days, a damaged reputation could ruin your trade, your social standing, even your safety. By the time we reached the modern era, shaking hands had become one of the most universal social gestures on the planet. It spread through diplomacy, travel, trade, colonization, and good old-fashioned human copying. You do it, I do it, we all do it, because that's just how people greet each other. Yet underneath all that familiarity, tiny echoes of the past remain. Think about how much judgment we cram into a handshake. Too firm? You're trying too hard? Too soft? Oh no, the dreaded dead fish? Too sweaty? Yikes. And if someone holds on a second too long, you both start questioning everything about the interaction, your life choices, and whether that person might, in fact, be a villain. And then, quite suddenly, the handshake almost went extinct. Practically overnight, the world hit pause, and people began avoiding physical contact entirely. We waved from afar, bumped elbows, or invented enthusiastic air handshakes that made us look like cheerful airport ground crew. For the first time in thousands of years, the handshake's future looked uncertain. But interestingly, it didn't disappear completely. As the world slowly opened back up, people began returning to old habits. Meetings started with cautious handshakes again. Deals ended with them. Friends and strangers used them as a small bridge across unfamiliar territory. It's as if humans missed the simple reassurance of that brief moment of physical connection, even knowing its origins were rooted in suspicion. And that's what makes the handshake so strangely beautiful. It began as a fear-based ritual, a nervous check for hidden weapons, and over thousands of years it became one of our most universal symbols of trust. A tiny gesture that says, "We're okay, we're safe, we acknowledge each other." So the next time you shake someone's hand, whether it's firm and confident, awkward and limp, or accompanied by a nervous laugh, remember the long journey behind it. You're participating in an ancient tradition that started as a way to prove you weren't about to attack someone. A greeting carved out of fear, reshaped by history, and kept alive because it still means something simple and deeply human. You can trust me. If you enjoyed this strange little journey through time, give this video a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories that uncover the weird, surprising side of everyday life. Because here at Water Cooler Facts, nothing is ordinary, not even the things you do every day.